Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your January 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, then just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I am using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, and before we clear the energy space, I just want to say that there is somebody impersonating me, asking people if they would like to have readings through them, and giving them, right now, it was the email address of daneharttarot@yahoo.com. That is not me. I will not be soliciting you for anything, okay? So don't be fooled. Don't click on them because it's not me. All right, so that said, let's dive into this reading. Let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. So let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Perfect. Cancer, January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. 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 Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, fantastic. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. And 2 bonus cards. Beautiful. All right. Now let's see what your chakra energy is for this time. Cancer, January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. These three. So we have determination, the solar plexus chakra, which is absolutely beautiful and very much describes you in and of yourself. It's like this determination to move forward, to go after what it is that you want, but the emotions of the things can kind of trick you up or hold you back or make it feel so much more complicated than what it looks like for everybody else. And the secret is that everybody else is feeling life is just as complicated as you are. There's just a sense of you naming it just a little bit better and really moving forward in that determination. And then we have here personal power, which is again the solar plexus chakra. And you have this personal power that you are harnessing and pulling into and really calling upon in order to move you to the next level, in order for you to know your strength and what you desire. And then you have the inner child with the heart chakra. And we will put the inner child in all of this and pull the inner child in just a moment. But we're going to see what the tarot, of course, has to say and how your chakra cards equate to the tarot. Now, this tarot, which is called the Witch's Wisdom Tarot, is a bit different. And I love this tarot because it is absolutely connected with our ancestral power, which I think is just absolutely beautiful as we enter into this new year, as we leave 2020 behind, which I mean, yay for that. We really see ourselves becoming more connected to the world around us and to our ancestral truth and to our truth of soul and why we're here on this earth. So this year is going to be quite beautiful and quite powerful. And also, I mean, the person who made this deck, her name is Phyllis, and my grandmother's name was Phyllis. It was actually Philomena, and then she Anglicanized it. So here, I just think it is such a beautiful synchronicity, and I want to share that synchronicity with you as we move into this new year. So the left-hand side here is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And then you have your bonus cards right here. So we start off with the Craftsman of Earth, equating this to the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This would be the Queen of Pentacles. Then you have the Seven of Earth, the Seven of Pentacles. You have the Strength card. Now, the major arcana in this deck does not really equate back to the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So instead of naming the zodiac signs that they align with, this will be done with the deck that we go deeper with. Okay, so we have Strength right here. We have the Four of Fire, the Four of Wands, 10 of Air, 10 of Swords, 3 of Air, 3 of Swords. A lot of the mind in the heart right now. Ace of Water. Okay, and that's a gift from divinity to you, healing, cleansing, moving you forward. 5 of Air. So the gift of the heart in between the mind, which is going to be, it's quite apropos for the chakra messages that you're getting, but it's going to make things, it's going to feel like things are more complicated than they are because you're going to try and want to puzzle them out logically instead of embracing them spiritually. And that's going to be kind of your ace in the hole during this time, to embrace spiritually for you to move forward and for you to embrace your grace. The public arena, we have the Messenger of Air, which is the Page, of Swords. Then we have the Goddess of Water, which is the King of Cups in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. But this definitely has you taking that gift of healing and of love from the Ace of Cups. 2 of Earth, 2 of Pentacles, 8 of Fire, 8 of Wands. Then you have the 7 of Fire, the 7 of Wands, and the 2 of Fire, the 2 of Wands. I love this. All right, now let's just look before we call the chakra cards into play. Let's look at the people who will be aiding you during this time. Who are the people who will be aiding Cancer? January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. Who are the people who will be aiding Cancer? January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. Who are the people who will be aiding Cancer? January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Awesome. So we have here the Princess of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This can be somebody either in real life or who you are connecting with through media in one way or another. It could be that you're very into their vlogs or their blogs, or, you know, the stuff that they write, the books that they write, the things that they create. And so here, person is going to inspire you passionately, fiery to move you forward. It's like, it's not only the passion of the self, but it's the burning fire of the heart. It's the reason for getting out of bed in the morning. So it's not only sitting there and saying, oh, I have to be passionate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is saying, what is the reason for me being here? You know, what is the passion that moves me forward? What is it that I'm going after? What is it that I desire? And this person is going to be kind of making it clear their path. And their path isn't going to be quite as conventional as everybody else's path. You're going to be sitting there at Cancer, and you're going to be like, well, if they can do it, you know, if they can do this, why can't I? And it's like, the question becomes now, why not, instead of why? And that's going to be really cool for you as you're moving forward. It's like, why not? Why not embrace my passion? Why not move forward in my fire? Why not call my strengths forward? And then you have the Chariot energy right here. Now, this, of course, is Cancer energy. And so this could be another Cancer being right there with you, you two absolutely getting each other and pulling you forward. But, excuse me, I have the hiccups. I'm so sorry. But this is also you during this time being one of your greatest allies. And there is a sense here that you're going to look at things and say, oh, well, what do I have to add to this conversation? Or how could I actually help anything? And you're selling yourself short. You're going to have a tendency during this time to sell yourself short just a bit. And so here it's like holding on to your strength, holding on to your passion, knowing that you are highly skilled, because a charioteer is highly skilled. And as you see this, you see that also a charioteer in medieval times, in ancient times, they were kind of like the tanks of their day. They were the like really heavy artillery. And so here, as you move forward, you're like, yes, I am the heavy hitter. I know what it is that I want. I'm going after what I desire, and I carry powerful weight, you know, as I move forward. I carry powerful truth as I go after not only the self that I let everybody see during the day, but also the shadowed part of myself, the part that, you know, maybe I don't want everybody to see, or, you know, maybe the darker side of my psyche, as everybody has a darker side to their psyche. It's, I pull me forward in this truth and in this passion and in this power. And as you do so, the King of Wands comes forward. And this is you being very inspired, and this is your fire coming forward. It's like, this is why I'm here. I can't deny my voice. I can't swallow my words anymore. This is my truth. And my truth might be to live much more gently than other people live. In Cancer, that is very much a part of your truth. So people will sit there and look at you, especially in a world where we really value extroverts and people who tell us how fantastic they are. If you're more quiet, if you sit there and say, I believe, you know, deeds speak louder than words, and I don't need to say, oh, look how generous I'm being so that everybody can, you know, celebrate me, you're going to find that as you accept this about yourself and as you embrace your power forward, you're going to find that there's might to you. There's might to you that you would think that others would overlook, but people are seeing. There's might to you in a way that calls upon your fire forward. And this is going to be because you see it in somebody else. You know, it's always so funny that we need to, a lot of times, see things in somebody else to be like, well, this could be me, right? I could do this, and I can move forward this way, and I can have this power forward, and I can embrace my passion and go after what I desire, and, you know, not be mucking around, and really go after what it is that I want. And my fire is my fire, and my truth is my truth. So why would I apologize for it? You're going to see that power forward, that way forward is just absolutely transcendent for you. And this is going to be a person who inspires you. Even if you look at this person and say, wow, I would never do that. Like, in a million bazillion years, never. But the fact that they've done it, the fact that they're moving forward this way, that becomes a catalyst to you to say, why not? Why not give it a try? Why not call that power forward within myself? You know, what's holding me back, and why? Because you have here your chakra cards, which are so astoundingly strong. So you have this profound determination that starts you off. It's like, I'm determined to move forward. I'm going after what I want. I am powerful. I am, you know, I'm driven. I'm seeing what I want within my life, and I'm going after it. And there's this sense of swimming upstream a lot of the time. So as you make this declaration, as you really embrace the power of yourself and the power of your way of moving forward, you're going to see that by, again, making this declaration, the waters come at you. You know, when you speak your truth and when you state your truth, there can be a lot of adversities that come in your way. Because you could look at it kind of, if you want to, you could look at it as this battle between good and evil, if you believe in that. And if you don't, it's just kind of like the setup for any good story. When you have somebody going on their path, saying, this is my quest, this is what I was born to do, and setting out to do it, they meet with adversity after adversity after adversity. But the key is here, and I know people sit there and say, Dayton, how do you do this? The key is that even if people don't agree with you, to move forward in such a way that even if they started telling lies about you, even if they started, sitting there and just being really caustic, to have people look at them and be like, well, what the heck are you talking about? It doesn't mean everybody, okay? It doesn't mean everybody. You'll know in those moments the people who are really on your side, and you'll know in those moments the people who just aren't, okay? So here you embrace this passion forward and you say, this is my truth. And you will find that those who stay with you, tried and true. Those who walk away from you, okay, maybe you didn't need them in your life, which is a hard pill to swallow, but also, or maybe you just needed to know where they stood within your life. And here it's the determination forward. It's like, no, I'm not stopping. I am going after what I want within my existence, but I'm knowing my ducks. My mom used to always say, because, she had 6 kids, right? Or she has 6 kids. It's like, know your ducks. I can know what I expect from each and every one of you. And here it's kind of like with the world. I'm knowing my ducks. I'm knowing the people that I interact with, and I'm knowing what I can expect from each and every one of them. And it's no longer going to be a surprise. It's kind of like Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you the real them, believe them. A lot of times we want to give them the benefit of the doubt, especially as a Cancer. You really do. You want to sit there and be like, well, you can have another shot and you can have 15 more shots. And I'm sure that it was just a bad day, and I'm sure it was just a misunderstanding. And sometimes it's like, no, this isn't right. This isn't right. And that's where you're really embracing your personal power. Because you have a tendency here, Cancer, to be much more empathetic. And the thing with an empath, and especially if you're a powerful empath or you're awakening this empath, way of being, people take advantage. And you become magnets for narcissists. You become magnets for people who are lost and who are angry and who just want somebody to kind of make their life better for them or to drain your energy so that they can move forward. And here with your personal power, you're sitting there and saying, I can be nice because that is my choice. But I am not a fool. And I am not going to be treated as one. And I'm moving forward in power and in purpose and in determination. Here, your gut is so on your side. It's like, I have a gut feel. I have a gut feel about this. It's like, it's not saying, okay, invest this money, in the stock market if you have a gut feel. It's saying here, look at what you want. Look at what you desire from your life. And instead of hemming and hawing and having to see what everybody else thinks, it's like, well, how do I feel about this? How is this the way that I want to move forward? And as you do so, the inner child comes in. And our inner child, people say children are resilient. And they are, especially when you see like some horrific things. Children are resilient, but they also get scarred. That's where we get a lot of our scars. And that's where we learn our coping mechanisms that we carry forward into adulthood. And so you'll see patterns within your life. And you'll sit there and you'll be like, well, I don't know why this always happens. It's like, well, it can be a generational curse, okay? A way that you were taught when you were little, but this is, again, going back to being little. It is within your bones, it's within yourself. And it can also be part of your past life self. But it all affects your inner child. And so it's sitting here at this moment and saying, I know that I am, rising like a phoenix from the ashes. I know that I am being empowered and emboldened, and I know that I'm going after my truth. My inner child has to know that too. My inner child has to understand that what my 3rd grade teacher said about me, or what my, first love said about me, or what my parents said about me, or, anyone, the person who was my best friend, and we were inseparable, and then we weren't best friends anymore. What they said about me isn't my truth. My truth is the fact that as the adult that I am now, I can visualize myself with my arms open wide, and the child that I once was running into my arms, and me holding on as tight as I can, as an adult should, and saying, I love you. I will always be here for you. I will always listen to you. I will always care for you. Okay? You are respected because you are a part of me. And you are that scared, lonely part of me. You are that jubilant, carefree part of me. And I get to have that back. I get to have the fear of the nightmares, yes, but I also get to have the person who checks under the bed and says, oh no, you're safe. And that is what you're doing for yourself now. You're freeing yourself in such a powerful, glorious way that your heart is shining. Your heart is shining through more powerfully and more beautifully than ever before. And it brings you then to the tarot. And it brings you to the craftsman of the earth. Now, the craftsman of the earth, we have the skull, and we have the berries, and we have the flowers, and the greenery, and we have are there frogs here? No, there aren't. But there's this evolution of life. There's this evolving process of life and of being and of self and of soul. And the earth is crafting itself as we are crafting ourselves. And so it's connecting to our rooted self. It's connecting to our generational curses. And I know that sounds so dramatic, doesn't it? To sit there and say a generational curse, which kind of makes me love it and kind of makes me dislike it because it sounds a little scary. So when we have the generational curse come forward, it is that negativity that our parents spoke over us. It's the fact that maybe one of our parents couldn't love us because they couldn't love themselves. And I know it sounds so trite to say, because you could be looking at your parent and say, well, they did everything for them. Why couldn't they for me? They seem to love themselves. Why couldn't they for me? If they couldn't love a child, then they didn't really love themselves. Okay? That's a powerful place to be. And so here, that's a powerful realization. Here as the craftsman, okay, you can see the eyes, the mouth of nature coming forward. And it's the evolving. It's from dust to dust, from ash to ash. The rising of ourselves and our souls. It's kind of like what Buddhism says. When there's no more fire, you cannot be reincarnated. You know, when there's nothing left to burn. And so here you are crafting your understanding. You are crafting your evolution. You are seeing if there is fire. You are seeing the way forward. You are looking at things and you're putting things together. It's a much more private, much more powerful time than maybe you would even realize. And it moves you in a way that takes your breath away. It moves you in a way that you hadn't anticipated and you hadn't expected. But it's you in your inner self shaping your world and moving you forward in such a powerful determination that with the Seven of Earth, it's like the patience comes, yes, but there's patience in the power forward. There's patience in the movement of where am I going to end up? How is this going to evolve? Where am I going to be? What is it that I want? And when we're crafting things, we don't want patience. The Seven of Pentacles calls forward patience, but here it also calls forward movements and discernment and understanding. And so here, when we're crafting, again, we don't want patience. We want things to have happened yesterday. But it's kind of like to find the best grazing lands, to be safe and secure. We can't be willy-nilly. We have to be patient with the world around us, with what we're intaking, what we're taking in from our existence, from our surroundings. And it moves us here to the sense of strength. And strength is here, card number 14. And so this is strength. And because, 14 in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is temperance, this is strength through balance. For me, this is, Spirit is saying this quite distinctly. There's a strength in the balance that you are taking in. There's a strength in the understanding that is moving you forward. There's a strength in the connecting with all of the spirit animals here and all of the guidance that is becoming such a powerful part of you. All of the ways that you are moving forward that you once thought were denied, you once thought could never be. And now you're seeing that they are. They are part of your truth. They are part of your power. They are part of your grace. They are part of your determination. And there is a sense here of you in profound connection with wisdom that was once overlooked, with wisdom that was once denied from you. And as this wisdom comes forward, and as this passion and this power and this determination transcends with you, you move forward in a way that is breathtaking. You move forward in a way that shows your strength of character, not the strength of anger, not the strength of I can speak louder. You know how everybody in our world seems right now? It's kind of like, if I can just yell louder than you, if I can just, be stronger than you, then I've won. Because they think strength is physical. Some of the strongest people I have ever met in my life have been people who are spiritually they're unstoppable. I'm just thinking of my great-grandma. This little old lady who was 98 when she passed away, was so astoundingly strong. And yet she wasn't physically strong. So here we have to rethink things. We have to rethink the way that we see strength during this time, because it's going to be in the connection with the world around you. It's going to be in the power of the Spirit, and it's going to be in the way that your angels, your spirit guides, your totem animals here guide you forward. And it leads you. It leads you to the Four of Wands. It leads you to the Four of Fire. And here, the fox, in this deck, the fox leads us forward. We can see it in a lot of the major arcana. Here, do we have the fox here in this card? No, we do not. But we have the fox in many, many of the other cards, evolving, guiding us, saying, it's kind of like, almost like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. It's kind of like, follow me. But this is much more interactive, It doesn't just kind of like leave you in the middle of nowhere and say, I'm late. So here you have this spirit guide that we have watching over its kids, watching over its children. And so here, what you are seeing is that there is an evolution also within our spirit guides, within the way that we move forward, within the passion and the beauty and the purpose of our souls and ourselves and our laughter and our joy. And there is a need to celebrate. There's a need to celebrate the fact that these two are playing, but there's also a need to celebrate the one that sits by and watches and stays. There's a need to celebrate every single aspect and evolution of life, every single power and beauty of self. And so here, as you are celebrating you are finding that there is profound beauty is a part of you. You are finding that there is this absolute exquisiteness that comes into your existence and is leading you forward. This is a sense of joy. This is a sense of finding purpose and understanding your purpose. It might be that purpose is something that you think, oh, well, that's not a big deal. Like, everybody can do this. Well, not like you can. Not like you can. We tend to poo-poo certain things, especially things of the heart. Being a really good cook, right? Having your family sit down and eat a meal, and they're all like, oh my gosh, this is so delicious. We tend to think, oh, well, that's nice. But, if you don't have this huge restaurant and you're not making all this money, it all goes back to money. If you're not making all this money, then it doesn't matter. And that's not true. That's not true. If you are bringing joy into the world, if you are bringing a sense of community and togetherness into the world, well, then that is beyond the realms of beautiful. That's beyond the realms of important. And so there is a sense here of love and beauty and support and laughter and joy and brilliance grounding you in your inner self, of showing you a way forward to this nice little beautiful home right there with the chimney smoke coming up. The sense of being safe, the sense of being secure, the sense of being loved as you are watched over, as you are free to play, as you are free to explore, as you are free to be, just as these kids are free to be with their parent. And then it brings you in your heart to the Ten of Air. The Ten of Air is rather intense because the Ten of Swords is rather intense. So the Ten of Swords is, that person laying flat on the ground with 10 swords stabbed in their back, and you're like, wow, that's overkill. I'm sure they were dead with like 2, but okay. It's transformation. It's the darkness before the dawn. It's how heavy and hard life is within the mind, within the self, within our understanding, within our evolution. We don't change as human beings unless we're kind of forced to. If you could just think of the person who gets everything that they want all the time, never has to really work for anything. They're spoiled brats. They sit there and they demand, and nobody likes them. It's kind of like, oh no, that person's coming. With the 10 of Swords, it teaches us the hurt, the pain, the disappointment. You might say, well, I don't need that to be taught to me. I've had enough of that in my life. That's part of the 10 of Swords. Part of the 10 of Swords is that the mind has taken in the hurt and the pain, the key with the 10 of Swords is not becoming the victim, but learning through all of that how to be the victor, how to be the person that says, okay, the water's coming at me. Yes, this is not the ride forward with determination, that I was expecting. The salmon, when it's swimming upstream, probably doesn't expect it to be that difficult every single time. But it is. And so when we evolve, when we rise from the ashes, it's difficult because we're leaving a past part of ourselves behind. And here we have this flying forward. we have this freedom, we have this coming together, we have this sense of, I didn't know, because we hadn't gotten there yet. And as much as it would be lovely, and it really would be lovely, if life just went easy all the time, if everything was just nice and easy and fine and peaceful all the time, then it wouldn't make us who we need to be. It wouldn't give us the power of purpose. It wouldn't give us that extra grit that says, I'm holding on. You know what, as Kipling said, when you can hold on, when there is nothing in you except the nerve which says to you, hold on. That's such a powerful part of life. And so with your heart right here and your mind, there's a part of you that really does feel like enough is enough. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to be tired anymore. I don't want to be scared anymore. Enough is enough. And when you get to this point, and some of you most definitely are already there, you find that you look at things and it's like, I can either be afraid or I can either take hold of my life. I can either live in doubt or I can know that I am connected to divinity and my ancestors walk with me and there's stardust running through my veins. I'm like a living poem and a piece of art. And I deserve more. And you stand tall, you hold your head up high, and you start. You start to make the world beautiful around you. And you can start with your room, you can start with a ritual, having a cup of tea in the morning, you can start. And you see yourself rising, and you see a new dawn, you see a new day, you see a new way. And that shows that you have come to an evolution of the mind, an evolution of the way the air fills your lungs, and the power you use to speak forward your truth. And it brings you then to the Three of Air. Now the Three of Swords, that's heartbreak, pain, and disappointment. And what needs to be done? And so often what we do is we say, that's my shame. That's my heartbreak, that's my pain, that's my disappointment. And I will wear it like Marley's chains in A Christmas Carol, and I will drag that with me for the rest of my life. The Three of Swords is saying, no, don't. Because you can. That is definitely a choice and a way to move forward. But the Three of Swords is saying, don't. Saying, take flight here with the cranes, in love and in luck and in beauty and in happiness, and to soar towards your truth, to embrace, to become. And the Three of Swords says, look at that pain. And instead of saying, that's my shame, I lock it away, say, that's part of my reality. That is part of what made me, for better or for worse, whether I wanted it or whether I didn't. And I look at it, and I honor the part of me that had to handle that had to deal with that had to walk through that fire. And I stand in my truth now. I stand in my power now. And I will not be walking backwards. I will not be denying myself the grace, the power, and the brilliance that is so profoundly a part of my soul. And as you come to that realization, not hiding away from the pain, but looking at it. If you want to stop and do a meditation, I highly recommend it. If you want to pause the video and just picture yourself in a room, in a garden, somewhere open where you can call people forward. And you can call forward the part of you that has dealt with certain shames, certain angers, certain injustices in your life. And say, why am I still afraid? What is your purpose still being in my mind? And it's out of protection. For one way or another, your subconscious is trying to protect you. It's saying, don't forget this, because do you know how much it hurt us? You might have not had any control over it. One of the things that I had to call forward was when I was very little, being a little bit deaf and a little bit blind. And I had to call that forward and be like, why? Why do I still carry that? I couldn't control it. It was just part of me. And so here, with the Three of Swords, and I'm using that example because there is nothing that you could do. And there is nothing that you could say like, oh, well, that was your fault. Here, it's like calling that forward and saying, why does it still hold me back? Why does it still define me so profoundly? And hearing the answer, I don't want you to be vulnerable. I don't want you to feel left out or overwhelmed by the world. And so I remind you that things are out of your control. I remind you that, you can be hurt. And then honoring that aspect of your subconscious and saying, well, thank you, but I'm okay now. I'm moving forward as best as I can and as as powerfully as I can. And that's where the healing starts. The Ace of Water, that's where the healing starts. The frog, a little acronym for frog. When I was growing up, it was always, FROG, fully rely on God. Divinity, spirit, however you say it, however you see it. And so here, that's what I see when I look at this water pouring forward, when I look at the beauty, coming out in 3 different blessings. It's the blessing that comes to us. It's the love that comes in. It's the washing away the hurt, the pain, the disappointment of the heart. And what's so interesting is that as that water keeps falling on that rock, it will erode the rock. It will leave, and it will also smooth the rock before it is all gone. So what it's taking here is something that looks absolutely unmovable, especially to that frog. Like, oh my goodness, how could you move that rock? And the waters, the healing waters of divinity, it moves that. It moves that hurt. It moves that pain. It moves that despair. And it says, no more. No more does it get to define me. No more does it get to be the truth that I carry. The healing waters get to be my truth. The washing away my negativity, the embracing of my heart, the beauty of my soul, the joy of my life and my love for who I am and who I will become. And it leads you then to the 5 of air. The 5 of air, you're rooted in freedom. Here you're crowned in a completion of a cycle with the 10 of swords. So you've completed something mentally. You've, during this time, are finding out something very real, very powerful, very succinct about yourself. And it moves you to the 5 of air. The sense of, I'm protecting that which is important to me. You have the mama bird right up here, the mama owl, protecting the babies. You have the daddy watching over them, standing vigil. Or it could be vice versa. And so here, it's like you're looking at things, and with the 5 of swords, the 5 of swords is, for me, it's a karmic debt coming. It's a, oh my gosh, not this again. It's that generational curse coming forward. It's that thing that you face time and time again and saying, I don't want to. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in this situation. And it's saying here, you're handling it differently because you need to. And you're having the chance to. It doesn't mean that you're handling it differently, because we always have a choice. So we can either handle it differently, or we can handle it as we always handle it. And, it'll come back to smack us in the face later on. And that can definitely be the case. Lord knows it's happened to me more than once, bazillions of times. And so here, with the 5 of air, what you're looking at is you're looking at yourself being protected against the storm by your angels with their wings over you, by divinity standing vigil over you, saying, I am here for you, and you are safe. And it's time to stand in your power, in your truth, in your beauty. And so here you are finding and you are calling forward that power. You are finding that truth. You are embracing that passion. And you're looking at how you handled things in the past. It could be that you were too quiet. You tried to be too kind. You sat there and you thought of everybody else and you thought of yourself last. And Spirit is saying, don't do that. Don't think of everybody else and yourself last. Think of the power, think of the beauty, think of the truth that is you. And stand in that grace. Stand in that abundance. And as you do so, I love this. Because the messenger of air, the page of air, who studies the wind, who looks at the truth, who, sits there and brings forward different ideas and, sharpens the mind and understands the soul, has this goose right here. It isn't being captured. It's being tended to. It's being tended to so that you can fly. And that's what the page of air, okay, the page of swords does, the messenger of air. You're also getting messages from the wind. You could be sitting there one day. What is it called, an augury? When you look at the patterns of the birds flying in the sky and things like that. So an augury could very well be coming to you, where you're looking for a message, where you're looking for something, and then just something in nature. And it most likely will be birds. It could be birds singing. It could be birds flying. But it just grabs your attention. It could be a picture of a bird, and you just really focus on it. You know how sometimes your mind just does that? It just focuses in on something, and you're like, oh, wow. And it's so intense, and it's so beautiful. And then your answer comes. And that's what you're going to be seeing here in the public arena more often than not. It's like the answer comes through the quiet. The answer comes through the healing. The answer comes through compassion. It's not being a rug. It's not laying down and letting people walk all over you. It's knowing your truth. It's knowing what you desire. And it's saying, I'm walking my path. I'm walking my path because I'm getting insight and beauty and healing in the most extraordinary of ways. And yeah, and it's guiding me forward in the most profoundly just awe-inspiring. Yeah, awe-inspiring beauty. It brings you to the goddess of water. Now this is you. You are represented by water, by cups in the minor arcana. You are represented, well, we don't know in the major arcana here, so I'm going to leave that out. But you're represented by the chariot in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck with the chariot in the major arcana. And so here, there is a sense of nurturing what is growing within you. And here, at first, when I first looked at this, I thought it was a vase or a little kind of like bubble that this baby was in. But it is a woman here with her face and her breasts and the child within. And that's what you're seeing here. You're nurturing something so great, but you're also being nurtured by something so great. And there's just wonder to behold. And there's wonder within. And there's a way of coming forward in the public arena, in your life, in your passion, in your determination, that takes your breath away, that has you looking at things so differently, that has you sitting there just discovering and becoming so much more than what you expected. And it brings you to the Two of Pentacles. So it's like, as all this healing comes forward, and as, the hair on this beautiful, goddess, okay, in her hands right there, cradling her belly. You have the minnows right here, the little fish. And then you have the fish and the seaweed and the jellyfish and, more fish and all the sea life as her hair. It's coming out of you. It's like this becoming, and it's around you, and it's born with you, and it's moving you forward. The sense of creation, the sense of beauty, the sense of more than you could ever have realized. And it leads you then to the Two of Earth. And what's so beautiful is that it's the mama and the baby. The mama bear and the baby bear, they're protecting each other. And the Two of Earth, the Two of Pentacles for me, always says, you're balancing everything. Don't forget to balance yourself. Because so often we do. We sit there and we think, I have everything to give to everybody else. I need to do all of this. There isn't time for me. There just isn't. Don't be nonsensical, And here, they're saying, you could not take care of this cup. You could not take care of what you want to take care of. If you're so busy juggling everything, that you forget yourself. You forget the juggler. And so here, if the mama was always so busy, sitting there and worrying and trying to do everything for the cub and making sure and forgetting about herself, she would not be able to withstand the winter. She would not be able to take care of that cub. And so here, what you are juggling is that need to take care of you while you also take care of others. Because Cancer, that is such an intrinsical part of you. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you're not the only person depicted in the deck. And usually there's a lot of times just one person depicted in the deck. Here you also have, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's the Sphinxes. And in a lot of interpretations, it's two horses, pulling the chariot. But it's saying, like, if you think about it, you have to take care of more than just yourself. You also have to take care of the Sphinxes that pull the chariot, the questions, the answers, the riddles that pull life forward. And so you're used to balancing a lot. But you can also be very used to, sitting there and trying to puzzle out the puzzle, right? Trying to solve the puzzle and forgetting about you. Divinity is saying during this time, it's very important not to do that. It's very important to take care of you, to know that you're part of what needs to be juggled in this world, that you matter. And so often, especially as compassionate, empathic people, we forget that. We just do. We sit there and we think, oh, well, I'll take care of me later, or, I can just not sleep, and then sleep one day when I can, and stuff like that. It's like, no, take care of yourself now. And it's very important. It's very important to call that power forward, because what you're going to see here as these baboons, sitting on this ridge, looking out, over the plains, over their world, you're going to see that things are changing, and every single aspect of you is coming together, communing, there we go, with this change. And you're finding that you're embracing this. You're like, oh, well, how do I move forward? And where is it that I need to be? And what is it that I'm looking for? And What is it that I desire within my life? And how is it that I'm embracing more within me, more around me? How can I move forward as part of this change and not be left behind? Because divinity is calling you forward here. And you're going to see that you're getting messages that help you embrace your flight forward. Now, your bonus card is the Seven of Fire, the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is knowing when to fight, right? And when not to. Because life means you're going to be bombarded by fools. You just are. People who don't get you, people who will not understand, people who you think are one way and then just disappoint you. So here, it's being the king of your forest. It's strength and it's love. And it's saying, I will fight when it's necessary. But lions, lions stalk their prey. Yeah, this sounds rather macabre, but it's true. So it's kind of like when you have a battle, don't just rush in, stalk it. Sit there and look at things and say, how do I move forward? What is it that I need? Who is it that I'm fighting against and why? And how do I get from point A to point B? To Z? How do I get to where I need to be without wasting so much energy, that I only have a certain reserve of, without lessening myself. And you're going to see that really moving forward for you during this time. The sense of stepping back, saying, is this worth it or is it not? Assessing the situation, and then going after what is your truth, what is your power, what will strengthen you within your world, in love, in compassion, also within your physical self. Being strong, being capable is so important, and what brings love forward within your life. And then it leads you to the Two of Fire. It leads you to the healing. It leads you to, the thistles. Are they thistles? I think they are. To beauty that also has thorns. To healing that opens up the world. This is also looks to me very much like a dowsing stick. And I remember when I was little. Well, no, I wasn't little. I don't remember how old I was. But we need to get a new well dug for our house, which my mom was so unhappy about. And this person literally came with a dowsing stick. And he went and he walked around. And he found the water. And he always found the water. And he was known as the best well digger. And it was astounding. It was just really beautiful to watch. And he just had this connection. And I'm not even sure. I think he had a dowsing stick with him, but he also walked, that was it. He also walked to the water, and he knew where it was. He has been doing it long enough. And it's even giving me chills now. It's like, you're going to be so connected with the truth of you, with the healing of you, with the opening of your world, that you're going to be able to kind of instinctually walk to the spots that are needed to find, the water. And you are a water sign, right? So to find the water, to find the calling of your heart that is pulling you forward. And that's going to be really beautiful. That is really, really beautiful. Now you have here the repeat of the number 7. You have here the repeat of the number 2. And number 7 is a truthful number, okay? My goodness. If you're born like a 7 life path, or if you have a lot of 7s, like you're seeing a lot of 7s, just know that means you're not going to get away with anything, but also people around you aren't going to get away with anything. There's always a reckoning that moves things forward. But there's also a sense here of diving deeper. Another level to 7 is diving deeper into spirituality, into mysticism, into questions, into seeking. That's going to be such a huge part of you during this time here, Cancer. Number 2 is creativity. Number 2 is a coming together, is a communion with other people. It can be a communion with your spirit guides, your angels, your spirit animals. It can be having kind of lucid dreams or transcendental meditation, where you find yourself going on these journeys and you've never left your home, which is good, for the times that we're living in right now. And you're going to step out kind of stronger and wiser and better than you had imagined. Okay, so let's go deeper. There's something here where there's just a power around you, Cancer. At times, you're just not going to be ready for the journey, though. So at times you're going to hesitate. You're going to sit there and think, I can't do this. Like it almost looks, goodness, it almost looks a bit ominous here. That mouth opened up, the eyes, shining forward. It does, and the skull. It's like, how is this crafting my earth, my existence? And it's the earth crafting everything. Everything. And at times it can be ominous, but at other times it's going to be exquisite. So let's see. Show me more deeply for Cancer. January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels, oh goodness, and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. Okay, and let's see the people you are going to need to be mindful of during this time. Who are the people that Cancer is going to need to be mindful of? January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. Who are the people Cancer is going to have to be mindful of? January 1st to the 15th, 2021, Cancer. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Okay. So we have here the moon. Now, this is Pisces energy. Yes, February 19th to March 20th is the time frame. But I'm also seeing this as fear, very distinctly as fears kind of taking over, fears taking hold of things, of sitting there and kind of thinking, it's kind of like the sentiment, or, you know how people say, like, oh, nothing good happens at night, or like nothing good happens at that hour of night type of thing. And that's going to be kind of like the mentality that you have. It's like nothing good is going to happen facing this fear or moving forward that way or looking at that. And this is a person who can be fear mongering. Like they want to build that fear within you. And they kind of see the bit of the fear and they want to make it bigger. And this is really understanding that there is a shadowed side to us, and there is the side that we show to the world. And the shadowed side is the wolf. The side we show to the world is the dog, the tamed and the untamed. And there's a sense here of the tamed and the untamed coming together to look at fear and to say, I've realized that I am a heck of a lot stronger than I thought I was. I realize that I am much more determined and, fierce. There's a fierceness to me, especially with the empathic energy that's coming here. You're not going to see yourself as fierce. You're going to think, oh no, it's not that. But there is a fierceness here when you are facing fear, when you are facing doubts. And there's a person who's, or, the media, or, some sort of, someone who is going, or something that's going to start, really calling upon the fear within you. And you're going to realize that there is a strength to you, that there's a passion to you, that there is a fire to you that you hadn't expected. And this is going to be so profound. And it's going to be started when you think like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they said that, or I can't believe, and it starts to freak you out. And then there's going to be a strength that comes over. So just be mindful of that. But also be mindful of not letting that strength come forward and thinking, oh, well, I really should be super, super, super terrified all the time. It's like, no, there's wisdom here. There's power here. And it moves you then to, this is the high priest, the Hierophant energy. This is a Taurus energy, April 20th to May 20th. Now, this doesn't have to necessarily be a Taurus. Like, this doesn't have to be a Pisces. This is somebody who's really going to be calling fear forward in your life and wanting to play off of that. This is going to be somebody who's astoundingly rigid, who sits there and says, this is the way it has to be. Like, isn't that what I said? And it's like, okay, well, I'm reiterating, or, I'm just stating something or processing it in my own head. Like, calm down, step back, what the heck? But this is going to be somebody who very much has a certain way that they're looking at things. And it's not going to really flow with the way that you're looking at things, because you're looking at things very fluidly. You're looking at things very contemplatively. You're taking them in, you're digesting. There's a lot of meditation. There's a lot of deeper understanding that's coming forward. And this person is just going to be too rigid. And it's kind of like, if this is a person that you're close to, the thing with them is that it's like understanding where they're coming from, in a sense, because right now you're not going to be able to change their mind. They're just too stubborn. And it's kind of like stepping back and saying, okay, you move forward that way, but I need to embrace my journey right now. And if they want to keep on pulling you into their journey, there needs to be a foot put down and said, no, I need to move forward this way, which can be quite different from the way that they're going about things. And then we have here the Prince of Pentacles. This is somebody who moves forward very, very slowly, just so profoundly slowly that you're looking at it and you're like, oh my gosh, just stop. Just stop. Calm down, look at things, take things in. Don't be so slow, and also don't be so single-minded. They're going to see things in one certain way and just think, that's it. This is the only way that it can be. This is the only way that I can move forward, and not understand that other people can have a difference of opinion. And it could also be somebody that you listen to, like online or something like that. Like you listen to a podcast by them where they're like, no, this is it. And you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. That's not true for me. But it can be true for them. So, wish them luck on their path, but also know that their path isn't yours. So we have the Eight of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Lovers. Oh, I love that. You're just covered in love right here. So that's beautiful. Nine of Swords, the Hanged Man, the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Two of Wands. Ooh, over the Two of Pentacles. Oh, I like that. And the Empress. Ooh, strong, strong, strong sacred feminine energy here, which, Cancer, you are so at home with, personally and spiritually. All right, so we have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups over the Craftsman of the Earth, over the Seven of Earth, over this movement forward and this patience and this crafting and becoming and developing. The Eight of Cups is walking away from something you once thought you would love. It is very much that, fish motif in the water of the determination, the salmon swimming upstream. There is a sense here of you looking at things and thinking, oh, I thought I would be happy there, or I thought this would be different. And now you're like, no, it's not. It's not, and I need to move forward for me. Or it can be something where you were happy with it once upon a time, but you're not happy anymore. It's just not right. And you're looking at things and you're like, well, now it needs to change. I need to change. I need to evolve. I need to move forward. I need to be. And that's going to be very, very, very powerful for you. This sense of changing, this sense of becoming, this sense of empowering, this sense of walking away from something you once thought you would love. And it can also be healing from something you once thought you would love. It could be a divorce or a breakup, or, your career isn't going the way that you thought it would. And you're looking at things and it's time to walk away. It's time to look at that certain dream and say, it's just not working. And it's kind of like Cinderella, when the stepsisters try to fit into the shoe. Well, in the old version, instead of, the shoe popping off of their feet, they cut off part of their feet. One cuts off the front of her foot, the other cuts off the back of the foot. They physically, mar themselves, handicap themselves, cripple themselves. That's the word I'm looking for. Cripple themselves to be able to try and be something that they're not. And that's what we do when we stay in something that just isn't right for us anymore. It's like we feel ourselves slowly withering away. And here it's time to walk away, to embrace the crafting of the world around us. And here with the Six of Cups. Now the Six of Cups is a bit complicated because yes, it is love. And I mean, that's just the instant reaction I got with these otters playing with the cups. Because you're going to see that what you once thought was going to be used for one thing isn't going to be. Like the otters here, they're just having fun. They're just being playful and curious and, opening up the world. And that's what you're doing here with the Strength card. You're being playful and curious and opening up the world with all these spirit animals around you, and this guidance forward and this connection with the earth and this, kind of beginning that is around you. And with the Six of Cups, it's saying to us, don't be melancholy. Don't sit there and look at the past and always think, oh, well, it was better when. And don't sit there and doubt the decisions that we're making forward because of negativity spoken over us when we were little. Move forward and see what you can make of the world. See how you can, evolve and become and laugh and embrace joy and move forward. And that's going to bring you to this place of love with the Lovers. Now, this is Gemini energy, time frame of, May 21st to June 20th, and you have the Queen of Swords here, so you have a very strong Gemini presence. But you also have here, and that's very powerful, okay, Cancer, Spirit's like, hold up, Dane. It's very powerful, especially if you're born on the cusp with Gemini here, Cancer, because you're embracing what you love, and you're embracing your passion, your brilliance, your joy, the Four of Wands, the sense of this is my beauty, this is why I'm here. And it just comes over you. It's like, this is the beauty of my heart. This is the passion of my soul. This is the love of my spirit. And this is me. And there's a sense here of falling in love with your life, falling in love with yourself, falling in love with your world. And knowing a quiet truth about you. It can almost feel at times like the Spirit is saying, it's like, I'm too sensitive for this world. You can be thinking that a lot. It's like, the world is just too much. And it's because you're going against the chaos of the world, which can be very intense and very overwhelming. And you're finding your love and your place forward and your passion and your brilliance. And that's going to be very empowering. That's going to be very beautiful. It leads you then to the Nine of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords is the nightmare card. It just is. It's here, it's a person in bed. It's 9 swords above them. You have here what looks like, and I'm just looking at it because it looks like I don't know what type of bird that is. I would say it was a crow, but it really doesn't look like one. And you have this over the 10 of Swords, the darkness before the dawn, the flying away from the heartbreak with the 3 of Swords, the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment. And it's the nightmares. It's like, what if I don't get out of this? What if I don't get to move forward? What if settling? What if just surviving is all my life is going to be? And this is the doubt and the fear of the heart. And this is where the heart and the mind have to come and play. Like, come and talk to each other. Because the heart wants to be free, wants to be happy. The mind also wants to be free and happy, but also has its curiosities and also has its logic. Like, okay, well, we have to plan for the future because, that's important. And the past is important too, but I can't always be living in the past. And so there's this conversation that you're having that at times you won't even really understand that you're having. And it's a releasing. It's a releasing of the fear. It's looking at things and saying, well, how can my heart and my mind come together as one? How can I have me be able to be empowered and emboldened and not living in fear and in doubt and in chaos, because you feel so deeply. And when you feel so deeply, the world hits you hard. And so the doubts, the fears, the angers, you'll take them on and you'll think, oh, well, this is my responsibility, or I deserve this, or, if I bear this and then nobody else has to. And now it's a sense of freeing yourself and saying, I'm walking out of the playing this over and over and over again in my mind. I'm walking out of the nightmare and I'm walking into my love and my glory and my truth. And it's painful because, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the swords are lined up above the bed. And so it's a ladder of swords. Climbing out of the despair of the mind is hard. And sometimes it cannot be done by ourselves at all. Sometimes we need other people to help pull us forward, whether it be friends, whether it be family, whether it be a professional. And so here, it's looking at that and it's saying, I want to be free. I want to be in love with my life. And by taking those statements and making those bold statements, you start seeing the world differently. The Hangman comes forward. You don't see the world as everybody else does. And that can make you feel bad about things. That can make you sit there and be like, oh, why aren't I like everybody else? Don't feel bad. Feel blessed. Feel blessed because if everybody in the world was happy, right, and you were the only one who wasn't, then not being like everybody else would stink. But so many of us in the world, we're struggling. Like, everybody in the world is struggling. Everybody in the world is trying to find their happiness, is editing their truths, is, photoshopping their pictures to say, oh, this is just perfect, and still seeking that perfection. So you start to see things differently. It doesn't mean that you see things badly. It means that you're taking in the healing. You're taking in the power of the earth, the power of the blessings that divinity is giving you. And it's washing away so much as you see things profoundly and differently and truthfully. And it brings you to the Knight of Wands. It brings you to defending and protecting this transformation, this power forward, looking at this karmic debt, looking at this generational curse, looking at this pattern within your life, and saying, you know what, the buck ends here. It just stops. It stops. And as you call a stop to it, you call a beginning to your strength and to your greater understanding and to your purpose forward. And you become a defender of that passion. And it leads you to the Queen of Swords. It leads you to cutting through doubts and fears. It leads you to knowing your mind. It leads you to being the warrior queen, which can very well feel out of your comfort zone, Cancer, because you're going to want to keep things peaceful and quiet and calm. But the passion and the love and the determination and the power that is you is coming together with your mind and saying, I stand in my truth. Because if I don't stand in my truth, I stand for nothing. And so as you stand in your truth, as you stand in this power, you stand for everything. You cut through the fears. You hold a weapon in your hand because the swords, it is the only continuous, it can't be changed into anything else in the minor arcana. It's the only continuous weapon. And so here you have that weapon in your hands. And what you do with it, how you transform it, how you use it is completely up to you. But it's your power, it is your passion, it is your brilliance that heals your soul, that has you a student of your mind, but also has you a queen of your mind. Behind the scenes, so much more appropriate for you during this time than center stage. And embracing what your soul wants, embracing what you're seeking, embracing the questions, that's going to be so powerful for you. And being in your element, knowing your mind, knowing your truth, speaking this truth forward. And then you have the Two of Wands in the Going Deeper deck, but you also have the Two of Wands in your main reading as your bonus cards. So the Two of Wands, this new beginning, this new way forward, this fact that the world isn't as overwhelming as it once seemed. The fact that you are starting to find your place within it, and you're starting to find the reason why, and you're starting to open up the doors. You're looking at the new horizon, and you're like, maybe, and why not? It becomes beautiful for you. And it's this opening, it's this start, it's this beginning. And it's as you find that balance within yourself, as you don't forget to balance you. And it brings you, as everything starts to change, and as divinity moves this change forward, it brings you to embracing yourself as the Empress, to claiming a throne you never knew you had, to claiming a voice that was silenced for way too long, to claiming a truth that is breathtaking and powerful and brilliant and beautifully you. And you become strength and elegance and eloquence, and you have this beautiful femininity to you. And it doesn't matter how you identify yourself. There's just this sense of grace. There's a sense of harmony. There is a sense of beauty. And that's going to be, that's going to be something here that is very important and very powerful as you move forward, because you're stepping into this kind of, this goddess of the water, this queen of the swords, this passion of mind and spirit. And it's going to be exquisite. It really is. So let's see what your spirit animal message is. Cancer. January 1st to the 15th, 2021, 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 Cancer. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Okay. So we have the Nightingale spirit, love is all around. And we can definitely see that within this reading, especially with the lovers, with your inner self. Love is all around you. It's time to sing that song of love. It doesn't have to be to anybody else. It can be just be singing that song of love to you. But you do it powerfully, you do it truthfully, you do it exquisitely. And it becomes your anthem. It becomes your theme song for this time. It really does. The love, the beauty, the dog spirit. It says, be loyal to what you love. Again, love is coming in. Be loyal to what you love. Don't compromise your love. Don't compromise your heart for others. It's being loyal to you. And it's not letting others treat you poorly. It's not sitting there and saying, I love you so much, you can treat me however you want to. It's being loyal to what you love. And first and foremost, loving yourself. It then leads you to the pig spirit. Use your mind wisely. Because this is a time where pigs fly. This is a time where the unbelievable becomes part of your world. It's like, becomes believable. It's like, this is the time where you see yourself moving forward in just exquisiteness, in like the sense of mind and understanding and passion and beauty and truth. Now, your subconscious spirit animal message is the bobcat spirit. Life is a mystery. We're not supposed to solve it all. We're just not. We're not supposed to have all the answers. But the mystery of it, the questioning, the seeking, that's going to be so beautiful for you during this time. It then leads you to your subconscious person message, which is the King of Pentacles. Prosperity, success, seeing things more interconnectively, okay? And this is why the Prince of Pentacles and the Hierophant are here, because they're both earth sign energies. And so you're going to be very captivated by other people's ways of success and ways of moving forward. And you're going to be thinking, well, maybe I just have to be more rigid, more disciplined. And, discipline is good, but an overabundance of that is going to be very bad for you. So here it is embracing prosperity. It is knowing that you were born to be prosperous, and it's claiming that throne, and it's moving forward in that power. And then it brings you to your subconscious chakra message, which is flexibility, the sacral chakra. Now, the sacral chakra is where a lot of negativity is held from this life and from past lives. So when the sacral chakra calls us to flexibility, it calls us to wisdom. It calls us to releasing a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, which sounds really easy to do. It's like, okay, but if I could release it like with the snap of my fingers, wouldn't I have already? And so here, as you embrace your flexibility, you also look at what has been holding you back in past lives, in, again, the, DNA debt, the generational curses, and looking at where you want to stand. And a kind of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, but pushing yourself into your power. And embracing the flexibility of your heart, your spirit, and yourself. It leads you then to your subconscious tarot message, which is the shaman, which is the wisdom, which is the connector with the spirits of the world and the healing of the soul and the beauty of the self. And this is wisdom and communion and power and grace and so much more than you've ever expected. And it's calling to your very soul, your very self. And the shaman here, as subconsciously you embrace this shamanic, power. You embrace the healing, the grace, and the beauty that is you. You embrace a power you didn't know you had, a way of life that might have seemed so out of the realms of what you desired or what you thought you could have, to have the beauty and the connection and the brilliance come forward. But it's almost a holistic power of you coming forward and embracing this shamanic power, this grace and this power of the earth and this connection and this communion with it. To go deeper, you have here the moon. So where the moon brings you pause, it also brings you blessings, because it's facing those fears. It's being able to lift the cloak of doubt, the cloak of despair, the sense of, oh, I don't know, and seeing things in the silvery light of calm, peaceful understanding, of beauty, of truth, and of power, and of flying to new heights and freeing yourself from the past. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. It has been a privilege and an honor to have brought it to you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy. As you begin this journey, and as you embrace this journey of truth and of discovery, of power and sensitivity, of grace and of true strength, through embracing the magic, the brilliance of your soul and yourself. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer.